Hey everyone, Odd here. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on some of the plans that are unfolding before our eyes. Give you all some insight to the truth. Here before me, I have a book that was written in 1992 by the United Nations. This book you can order online. It's called The Earth Summit, Agenda 21. The authors of this book are the United Nations. In this book, it talks about things like this: changing consumption patterns, psychological operations that would be perpetuated against us in order to force us to follow their status quo of how to utilize our own resources. I spoke before about a man named Gunther Schwab. You can look this name up. Gunther Schwab. He was an Austrian-born Nazi, and he served with Adolf Hitler. This man is the man that created anthropogenic global warming. In his book, Dancing with the Devil, as I said in the video prior that I had on my TikTok channel, he had plans with Hitler to take control of the Earth's resources to distribute them equally throughout the world, a form of global socialism. If you remember, Adolf Hitler used nationalism as a platform to rise to power, seize control of Germany, build up their military might, utilizing American companies and corporations such as IBM, IG Farva, DuPont, and others, and also including the Vatican, to force this Third Reich on the world, this form of globalist socialism. He wanted to rule the world, So entail that makes him a globalist socialist. Just because the Nazi Party was allegedly defeated in 1945 doesn't mean that their ideas were defeated. The very foundation of the United Nations was created in May of 1947. I was thinking of May of 1948 when Israel was founded. But in 1947, the United Nations was founded with the very principles of Adolf Hitler's vision. They wanted to have a global utopia that was a socialist-based institution. The Georgia Guidestones, for instance, were erected based off the principles of these evil-minded individuals. And the Georgia Guidestones, you can actually Google and look these up. These are real. And Google will even give you directions to them. And Google will also give you a phone number to call. The Georgia Guidestones have 10 commandments written in 7 different languages. And the very first commandment that is written on the Georgia Guidestones is to keep and maintain humanity under 500 million persons in perpetual balance with nature. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that what you're seeing on the world stage today is what happened in Adolf Hitler's Germany back in 1945, all the way, actually it was 1939 through 1945 when it really escalated. Now, if you look at the media, for instance, Joseph Goebbels-based media, where there is propaganda that is being perpetuated. I'm sorry, it's my dog being annoying. I love her to death, but she loves attention. But anyway, the media is perpetuating a Hegelian dialectic. For those of you who don't understand what Hegelian dialectic is, a Hegelian dialectic is problem, action, solution. The masterminds create a problem that needs action. And the problem is spewed out through propaganda, and then the action is perpetuated through PSYOP to force people to want to make the change to the idea that was created by the masterminds, and then thus the solution is also created by the masterminds. So problem, action, solution. They create the problem, and they have the solution. I'm not going to say any names about something that is going on right now globally that's being perpetuated against us psychologically. But our very liberties are under attack because of this. Our very freedoms, the foundation of the Constitution that our forefathers have written, and even the principles set forth by God Himself for our rights. You see, we are living, breathing beings. We have rights, okay? And our rights are being abused daily through psychological operations, such as the TV, for instance. They utilize certain triggers and certain psychological marketing tactics, things I learned in college, to brainwash you, trick you, force you to follow something without even thinking twice about it. It programs itself inside of your subconscious mind. You know, some people don't agree with a lot of what Sigmund Freud spoke of, but I believe that deep down inside of our psychological, our subconscious mind, I should say, we have this ID that he spoke of that controls our being without us knowing about it at times. We make decisions, but these decisions sometimes are planted in our mind, and we follow these decisions without even thinking twice about us as not being the ones to perpetuate the idea. You see, if the hive mind has a certain mindset to control you, us, other individuals, then those in whom are not free thinkers like we are, or who are awoken to the real truth, the real woke, okay, not the fake woke, but the real woke, then it is easy for them to control the hive, the societal mind. What is more important to the elite than money and power? It's the control of the mind, control of information. This is the reason why we are being silenced. This is the reason why we are being shuttered. Because they want to control you and me and the information flow. Adolf Hitler did the same exact thing. The very tactics that are being utilized now have been used by Hitler. Saul Alinsky wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. In this book, it spoke about these tactics that would be utilized to bring down a democracy as powerful as the United States, enforce this socialist principle on us. A lot of the people that are in this socialist bracket don't even recognize that they're nationalist socialist, because this thing that's being pushed against people right now is a form of nationalism. If you don't do it, then shame on you, and you should be silenced. You should lose your job. So many other things. They're forcing this against us, which is a threat to our very liberties. As I spoke before, the very definition of liberty is to be free without fear of persecution for one's political beliefs. You're supposed to be free to speak your mind, regardless of what platform you use or where you are. You can go out into the street and speak it in your work and other places, but unfortunately, throughout the years, they have found loopholes in the Constitution that negate free speech by utilizing corporations to silence free speech, because corporations aren't part of the government. Anybody that has any type of money or dealings within the government or power influence by the government should also fall under this criteria by law, by constitutional right. You see, I really want you all to look into these books that I speak of, Rules for Radicals, for instance, Dancing with the Devil, Earth Summit, Agenda 21. Also look into the Grand Chessboard. Also, let's see, there's so many good books out there that can wake you up. Animal Farm, 1984, Metropolis. You know, for those who don't understand when people say we're living in an Orwellian nightmare, well, read 1984, Animal Farm, and you'll understand what George Orwell meant and why people say this dystopia we live in. These people see us as bottom feeders. They see us as workers of tools. We are just hands for them. This is the reason why they don't teach you entrepreneurship in school no more, unless you go to college. They teach you how to have a career to work for them. Um, our school systems have become a socialist training belt. A socialist training belt is a form of AHS, Adolf Hitler School. It is programming by a party. If you don't worship the party, then you are a threat to the party, and thus you must be dealt with and silenced. Party worship. People need to unplug themselves from the right-left paradigm. Understand that these politicians, right and left, are not your friends. They are not for you. They are for themselves and the implementation of this. It's called an agenda for a reason, because it's what they have planned. If you don't wake up and pull your head out of your know what, then I hate to tell you, but your children, your children's children, and even you are going to be enslaved soon. People need to speak out against these things. Ban the platforms that silence. People need to also understand that there is a way to negate all of this. If people are smart enough and really care about the Constitution and its liberties, we don't have to buy things with fiat currency anymore.